power at 400% capacity.
How about that?
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new Iron Man Rune Master. Now if you're curious why I gave this build that name, it's because we use the invocation Lightning Web, which is a lightning beam you shoot out of your chest. As always, we will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm using for this Iron Man Rune Master are Static. Static's gonna be our big single target damage strike. At the training dummy, I'll try and show you later, we hit for over 1 million damage. It's pretty crazy. We're using Flame Ward for survivability, Flame Rush for movement, and every time we come out of Flame Rush, we're gonna be shooting our Lightning Blast. Runic Invocation, which we will manually trigger all the time, and then our Lightning Blast, which we use spammable, and you can use that to trigger spark charge explosions, and you can use it at negative mana because Static costs 200 mana. So if you actually try and spam that skill, you're gonna go negative, but luckily you can still shoot your Lightning Blast. So here, let's use Static on this exiled mage, and bam, you see that it half of its life went away and you are dead. Very fun. All right, let's knock this out. So the plan is I'll finish this run, and I think what we'll do is we will go fight a Shade of Oribus at 260. So we're finally starting to cruise and get higher on our Rune Master. We're now level 98. And Corruption, we are starting to push into that 300 zone. All right, Shade of Oribus at 259. Does not feel too difficult. Take that. Come on, don't die here at the end now. Now and again, when you spam Static, your mana is gone. And Shade of Oribus, you are dead. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's check out the skills for our Iron Man Rune Master, starting with Flame Ward. This is basically the exact same setup that I have had on all of my Rune Master builds. Now, when it comes to the skills, I'm going to tell you the order in which you should take the nodes. And for Flame Ward, you actually want to go left first because you need to turn this into a cold spell. You want 3 into Dilation, 1 into Fire Aura, 1 into Frost Ward. This is what makes it cold. Then you want to come right, 2 into Stalwart Defense, 5 into Barrier, 3 into Prismatic Buffer. Then you want to come up, 2 into Desperate Defense, 2 into Fueled Flames, 1 into Dual Aegis, and 1 into Astonish. And this makes it where when you get stunned, it auto triggers your Flame Ward. Amazing skill, lots of damage reduction, and you get 2 charges. Moving over to a newcomer for the build, Static. And yes, that tooltip damage is accurate, and we don't have any buffs on whatsoever. If we were at the training dummy right now, I could get this Static tooltip over 2 million damage. This is your Shade of Oribus killer. This is your boss at the end of the run. This is your huge spell you can do that does insane damage. But yes, that mana cost is correct. In order to cast this at max charges, it's going to cost you 212 mana. And by the way, if you wanted to cut this all the way down, all you got to do is remove this 1 node Power Surge, and then the mana drops literally almost all the way down to nothing. Okay? Just FYI, you don't want the big hits and you want to use this more often, all you got to do is get rid of Power Surge. Okay, here's where you want to go. You want 5 into Empower, 3 into Electrify, 1 into Lightning Cleave. Then just keep coming around. 1 into Surge, 4 into Critical Mass, 4 into Overcharge. Then come up, 3 into High Voltage. And then your last point, I just want to say this again because I know I'm going to get a ton of comments. If you cannot afford the mana for this, just take this 1 point out of Power Surge and put it up here into High Voltage. Okay? But the damage is crazy. Tooltip over 2 million. Moving over to my favorite skill for Mage, and that is, of course, Lightning Blast. You want to go left first. 2 into Arcing Power, 1 into Closed Circuit. This is going to give you a huge boost to your damage and your critical strike chance. Then you want to come down, 3 into Storm Razor, 2 into Lightning Attunement. Then you want to come up, 2 into Front Loaded, 1 into Innate Conduit. And on here, when you use your static, if you ever go negative mana, don't worry, you can always still shoot your Lightning Blast because of Innate, which will still trigger Spark charges, okay? Then you want to come right, 3 into Cloud Answer, 5 into Mortal Capacitor, 1 into Final Spark, and then your last 2 points right here into Overcharge. Moving over to Flame Rush. Flame Rush, you want to go down and to the left first. 2 into Fury Overload, 1 into Epi, 3 into Lunar Protection, 1 into Energy. This turns it into a lightning skill. We are a Lightning Iron Man build, okay? You then want to come up, 3 into Blazing Flux, 3 into Runic Eclipse, 3 into Guidance. Then you want to come down and to the right, 3 into Solar Rush, 3 into Blazeborn. These 3 points you could literally put wherever you want. You could put them over here in mana. You could put some points into Emberwake. These are a free 3 points. You can choose what you do with them. Last but not least, Runic Invocation. And the reason why I'm plus 25 is because I have a tier 6 on my helmet right now. You want to go left first. 4 into Approach, 1 into Patterns, 1 into Arcania, 1 into Order. This is going to make it where the skills that you have on your bar is going to be the order of your runes. So make sure down here you put these. You need to have Lightning, Cold, Lightning on your bar. Lightning, Cold, Lightning on your bar. You then want to come to the right, continue, and put 4 into Rune Inscribing because we're going to be manually casting this all the time. You then want to come to the right and put 3 into Power and 3 into Lagon. This is going to give you Shock Chance, but more importantly, it's going to give your Runic Invocation another 9% base crit chance. You then want to come up, 1 into Lore, 3 into Haste, and your last 4 points into Ruin. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passives. Now, right now, our Iron Man is level 98, and we have all the passive points from the campaign. We have 20 points into the base tree. 8 into Scholar, 2 into Arcanist, 5 into Mage Flurry, and 5 into Knowledge of Destruction. Now, these 2 can be interchangeable. You could put 8 down here and 2 up here, or 8 here and 2 there. I like having the extra life and mana. Personal preference. Nothing in Spellblade. 68 points currently into Rune Master. 5 into Unsealed Mana, 8 into Arcane Focus, 6 into Transcendence. Now, right here, we are putting 5 points in here because our Lightning Blast cost no mana, which means we're getting a mana burst and ward burst every 3 seconds. So it is a nice little bonus. 8 points into Sphere of Protection, which is going to give us life and less damage taken. 7 points into Triumph, 5 into Cataclysm, 8 into Never Late, 2 into Dilation, 6 into Inscribed Instruments, 8 into Inscriptions, 1 into Hurricane, and 4 into Jagged Veil. Okay, this is the completed tree. Moving over to Sorcerer, right now we have 23 points, and I've changed this up a little bit. This is the main difference between my other Rune Master builds. 5 into Momentum, 5 into Calculated Destruction, 8 into Essence, and then we have 2 points into Sarah and 3 points into Rift Bolt. Now, right now I said I am level 98, which means level 99 and level 100. My last 2 points are going to go right here into Rift Bolt to just give us some extra lightning damage, leech, and lightning penetration. Passive tree feels really, really good. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with idols. And again, quick reminder, in the description is the advanced build planner if you want to see true end game gear. Now, when it comes to idols, this is the specific idol you want to find. This is an adorned 2x2, and you can have 4 of these on your character. Now, you can get increased lightning damage while you have Lightning Aegis, and you can get increased lightning damage, and that is doubled if you have over 300 mana. Now, a perfectly rolled idol, okay, just one, if you have over 300 mana, is going to get you 142% lightning damage. And of course, if somehow you had 4 perfectly rolled idols, just from your idols, you would get 168% lightning damage. Absolutely crazy. I have two. One's rolled a lot better than the other, and then another one where I'm just got some ward retention, and then some lightning critical strike chance and some lightning damage. So there's a couple options you have, but that is the key one. That is what you want to look for. Now, moving over to gear, there is no required uniques for this build. There is best in slot, but there's nothing that you have to go find to make this work. That being said, we are using in our offhand the Enigma Catalyst, and this is great for applying spark charges and our lightning damage. Mine happens to be a legendary with a tier 5 lightning damage transferred to it. And the other one is Twisted Heart. Now, Twisted Heart really does help keep us alive in this build. I do highly recommend it. Just make sure you have some spell leech back on your character. Now, I'll go through each item individually so you can see what I currently have. Helmet. Amulet. Wand. And you want it to be a wand. Chest. Ring. Belt. Ring. Gloves. And boots. That is the gear. Now let's move over to the stats section for our Iron Man build. And to be clear, I need a lot of gear. Okay, I need a lot of gear. You can push this even farther. Currently level 98. Under intelligence, I have 60 points. You want to be at 60 or higher, so this works. Vitality 15, movement speed 33. Resistances wise, fire, lightning, cold, physical, and poison are solid. Necrotic and void are terrible. This is where I definitely need some gear upgrades. Armor's pushing 800 at 29%, ward retention at 258. Defenses, endurance is at 40, endurance threshold 573, and crit strike avoidance at 66. Now, I want to show off some damage numbers. So on here, we're currently at the training dummies. You'll see my lightning damage at 621 and my spell critical strike chance at 32. Watch what happens when we are only using lightning blast. You will see that just with lightning blast alone, lightning damage is now over 900 and spells critical strike chances over 50%. Look at the damage numbers. This is only with basically our free spell lightning blast. You are seeing 100. I saw a 200,000 hit. There's some big damage numbers in there. And that's where I was saying when you look at static, 1.4 million on the tooltip during that time. And if you continue to build that up, watch, let's see if we can get a good hit with our static and hit. Damn! Did you see that? That was over 1 million damage. Very, very cool. Point being, the reason why our stats are buffing so high is because of a singular node inside of Lightning Blast, and that is right here called Closed Circuit. Basically the blast chains back to you and boosts your crit strike and your damage. Absolutely awesome, but you do need to be fairly close to your targets. So, little tips. That is the character breakdown. Now let's talk sustain. Aaron, this is great, but how do I stay alive? We are going to start in the passive tree. Now in Rune Master, you have this top row right here, and this is going to give you a big boost to your mana. On top of that, you have the protection node, which is going to give you some damage reduction at 8%. You're going to get some sustainability from your passives. Moving over to your skills, obviously you're going to have a lot of ward and also damage reduction from your flame ward and more damage reduction from your flame rush. Last but not least, in your gear, obviously we are using Twisted Heart. And as you can see that when I am attacking, I am building tons of ward above my life. And I've got enough leech that I can keep my life up as long as I am attacking. So lots of damage reduction, lots of ward, lots of sustain on our Iron Man. Last but not least, let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I take it from level 1 to what I am seeing on the screen today? Great question. There's 3 skills you need. Skill number 1 is Elemental Nova, and you want to take this in its lightning form. You want to take this top tree right here, and then the one right above it. Those 4 nodes. The reason why we want elemental novas because the second skill you want is teleport. Teleport does something really cool. If you take this bottom tree right here, it makes 3 elemental novas. So when you are traversing the campaign, your movement skill is also killing enemies, so you just get through it that much faster. The third skill that you want is Frostclaw, the newcomer, and you want to take this in its lightning conversion right here, Spark Artillery, and you want to put points into Gift of Winter, and you want to get Frozen Rain because you don't want to spend a ton of mana on your Frostclaw. On your bar, you want to put Flame Ward, but not spec'd into it. It gives you some boost to survivability. And the last thing you want on your bar is Focus. If you ever do run into a situation where you run out of mana, you can channel Focus, and this will bring you your mana back. But the 3 main skills, Elemental Nova, which is getting procced by Teleport, and you are shooting Lightning, Frost, Claw. Those 3 skills will get you to endgame. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new Iron Man Rune Master? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but only if you think I've earned it. If I haven't earned it yet, I'm gonna work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 83 members that just signed up. I just posted today my new studio tour. So if you want to see what that looks like, I get asked all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it. You get in the VIP section on Discord. We could chit chat every day. You get access to live stream with me. A lot of that is going to be happening in the near future. You get bonus entries on the wheel spin. You get access to the extra podcast. Lots of good stuff on Patreon. First link in the description. That's all I've got. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.